So welcome back to Frank's Garage. Look what we have in the garage today. My first time touching one. We're gonna do some maintenance on it, go over it, make sure she's in good top shape. For one of my buddies, and I'll take you guys all along for the ride. Just off the top of my head so far, or just by browsing over, it's been here about 2 seconds. I've noticed it's missing our breather tube that goes from here to here. We're missing the rubber for the PCV. That's about it so far. I've only looked at it about 3 seconds. It's got a nice cat skin red interior. Pretty sweet. Pretty awesome. Never seen one before. We're gonna do a compression test on it. We're gonna do valve lash on it. We're just gonna check all the fluids, all the differential, all that good stuff. Just go over the whole car, inspect it, making sure she's in good shape. So, bring you along for the ride. He's gonna do some coilovers. We're gonna do that and all that. Maybe some camber adjustments. You know, just little things here and there. They call me Johnny Cam. You know I had to wear my Honda shirt for the old red Honda. First time in one of these girls. First time. Sweet. She is sweet. Now, I wonder if we could fix that for him, because that's not right. Steering shroud's a little messed up. Does have a little rough spot down low. It's got a little rough spot down low. Roughness for him too that I'm noticing. Check the spark plugs and all that too and see if we can figure anything out. Just trying to do general maintenance, go over it, making sure it's all in good condition before he does any modifications to it so he can enjoy the car. So I'm just looking over the S2000 here. Like I said earlier, I noticed we're missing the pipe that goes from right here to there. This is missing the rubber for the PCV. I just noticed that someone actually changed these injector pigtails at one time. I don't know if this car had upgrades and they put these back on to go back to stock. I noticed this was popped out. There's an aftermarket clamp down here for the vacuum line. I'm just looking over everything, you know, just trying to make sure it's in good shape for my boy. Did notice that the inner fender is loose and rubbing. There's a hole through it right there. I don't know what's going on there, but that's what's happening. But we'll check everything out here and see how everything looks. He says he wants to delete the power steer or the cruise control. Believe it or not, these things make more power with the stock airbox than getting rid of it. It's dyno proven, unless, you know, we're really turning her up. I noticed that these are aftermarket, and this is weird. It's missing the mount for the fuse box. Like it's broke off the frame, or doesn't make any sense there. Someone did change the battery cables, I can tell. You see there's some electrical tape right there for the positive. And this inner fender looks all right. These are aftermarket, and this is where it's missing the mount for the fuse box. Like it's broke off the frame or doesn't make any sense there. Someone did change the battery cables, I can tell. You can see there's some electrical tape right there for the positive. He must have fixed the clamps. Yeah, he fixed the clamps. What is that? Power wire. Aftermarket power wire right there. That's what he was talking about.
It's so much better with the top down. So much better. Look at it in my garage.
It's like just looking at dreams. I never knew I wanted an S2000 until I had one in my garage. With a K series in it. With those rods and pistons. Come on, baby. So we're back on this S2000. Sorry if you could hear the noise in the background. I have the heater blowing. I'll give you a temperature update since I do that a lot. We're actually a nice 36 degrees in here right now, so not bad. 36 is pretty good. So we got the S2000. We had it flipped around because I had to make room in the garage. I was working on something else, and I had it parked over there. But we're gonna pull cover off the coils. We're going to inspect the spark plugs, do a compression test, and after that, the engine is cold. It's been sitting for probably 48 hours. I want it to be nice and cold before I do a compression test. So we're going to do a test and see how everything looks. And we'll check the valve lash after that and go from there. Very nice shape, which is very rare for these S2000s to just be in good shape. This is the first one I've touched, first time I've worked on one. But I know Honda engines, K series, it's all the same stuff. But I've seen pictures and these are always bad, the paint. But if you see here, it's missing the rubber for the PCV valve. So we're gonna have to try to track that down, and it's missing a hose that goes from here to there. And it looks like the injectors, the leads were changed because there's heat shrink on it, but it's not waterproof heat shrink. There's no glue in it, and I don't know if they soldered it or what they did, but I feel like we should inspect that also. It's got an aftermarket header on it, aftermarket exhaust, and let's just keep going. We got some 10s here, and we'll pull this apart. See how everything looks. can see one of the differences between the K series and the F series. This is an F20. I run the K24 K series stuff. So from here back, it all looks the same. Same cam look, same valve, everything looks the same. But on the camming gear, it's got a sprocket down here with a chain on it instead. This is the first time I've seen one. And it looks like it's gear driven to drive these gears, unlike the K series. But it's clean inside for sure. It's a pretty good shape. All the valve, all the they all look all right. All the lobes. Alrighty, so I found out why this looks so good. First of all, I saw paint right there. See it right there on that injector clip. And then there's a piece right there on top of the cam right there. And then obviously, if you flip it over, you can see the overspray. So someone painted it. I'm like, there's no way that looks that good. We got 200 on that one. What I expected 200 to 210. Like I said, first time I worked on these motors, but that's what I would expect. 200 on the dot. About 190, 198 on that one. About 180 or so on that, 190 on that one. About the same. 199, 198. Not bad. Not bad. So that's good news. A good place to start. So I also noticed this, if you guys just looking around, if you see that fender, see how it's sticking out weird, like right there, it doesn't line up. And then it doesn't line up here. And if you push right here, it's way loose. So I'm like, maybe it's missing a bolt. I opened up. She's missing in there now. If I push it in, you can see it line up. So I found a 10 laying around. We're gonna throw her in, see if it helps. Way better. Way better. It's still not perfect. I really think it needs to line up here a little bit too, but she is way better. I had to lift the fender up also. Yeah, you can see the paint, repaint right there. It's the thing about cars, you can never get them back perfect. Unless you're a real body man. I know I'm working on the S2000, and I also noticed the cruise control is super loose. Now, he would like to delete all this stuff, but we can't delete this stuff until he changes the ECU, because he's probably gonna have check engine lights if we start getting rid of stuff. But it's missing a nut here. You see that thing's been wiggling around for a long time. But right now I'm removing the airbox. That way I could put a ratchet on the crank, turn it by hand so I could do valve lash. We're missing one of our bolts back here for our airbox also. And I've been seeing pictures online of these. They look so much better without this heat shield on there. Now you can really see how this engine's put in here. It's so crazy looking at a Honda motor shape, you know, rear wheel drive. I've never touched one before, or really seen one. But another cool thing about this engine I've noticed, you could change the cams without taking the timing stuff off. I'll pop the valve cover off, but show you here in a second. But you can also see it's 2 pieces for the timing cover. It does have an oil cooler on it. And then also, I think I said this before, but you can see all this rubbing here. I'm not sure what that's from. That might be the thingy, the strut bar. But you can see how it's missing a whole bracket there for the fuse box. Kind of weird, kind of weird. See how this has, I said this before also, but those are like the gears on my transmissions over there. Stock transmissions, but you can take these cams out without taking the timing apart, which is really cool. But look at all that room for activities. So much room for activities. All right, so it did have a turbo or something on it. Aftermarket oil pan drain right here. And if you could see all the scratches on the frame right here, that's from them trying to get the turbo manifold in and out. And you see the new bolts up on the header up there? So they must have put new titanium bolts in when they had their turbo kit on and then switched it back to the OEM stuff. But yeah, that's definitely not factory. Any of this stuff right here. So she might have been turb skied before. Might have been turb skied. All right, so we're back on the S2000 here again. We're going to change the transmission fluid, rear differential, and the engine oil today. I already drained the engine oil, already cleaned it up. We're gonna put the oil filter on real quick. We'll fill it up for oil, and then we'll move on to our transmission fluid. Nice and easy there. And then our rear diff, nice and easy there. Just another day on the S2000, just noticing different things here and there. I'll show you underneath. Sorry about the heat. You know how it's always cold here in Ohio, so hold on. So, as you can see there, those are not factory holes in the side of the engine block. So it's pretty common for people with S2000s for oil drains to put holes. And you can see, I can't even take this out because if I do, it's crooked. It's not even in there straight. And I don't want to open up a can of worms to fix that right now. But one day, if we ever take the engine out, we can fix it then. Oil filter is about to go on. Already drained it. You can see there's a lot of oil everywhere. So it looks like either the rear main seal's leaking or there's just oil from the valve cover gasket up there. It's hard to say, but it's everywhere. And I'm noticing different things here and there. Someone put a aftermarket ground right here. There's a power wire right here that goes to the trunk, and that's actually live right now. If I look, it goes straight up to the alternator. So that's dangerous. We're missing the panels. We gotta see if we can track these down. You can see someone cut the frame right there and right there. So just little things. But let's throw the filter on real quick and move on. Alrighty, OEM transmission fluid is in. This car is coated with oil underneath. So there's a couple different leaks that I've noticed. Valve cover, gasket, which I think I might have fixed already, maybe. And those holes in the block that somebody added for oil drains. But no big deal. We'll get it all fixed up, power washed down. Too bad it's cold out right now, or we do it right now. changed the oil. We changed the transmission fluid. We're gonna jack the back end up and we're gonna check the rear diff fluid. We're gonna change that, drain it out. I did just start it, so the exhausts are probably a little hot, but I have the door open, so it should cool down. And we'll go from there. Alrighty, so S2000 is going to be leaving here in a few days. We did a bunch of stuff to it. Not a lot, few things, just went over it. It's good to go for now until we do the next step of things. Would be like the air pump, the suspension, delete some things, add some things. But I got the coupe back on the ground. I put the wheels back on. I put the rear brakes back on, the trailing arms. I really like the coupe, honestly. But we got a hatch now, so we have to pull all this stuff out of this one and put it into the new one. Everything. We might just redo the wiring. I'm not sure. Probably redo the wiring, because why not? And subframe has to get switched over. You know, obviously, like, fuel cell needs mounted. You know, all that stuff. But no big deal. We got to pull the electronics out. We also need to gut the other hatch, or the other Civic, like start cutting stuff, and dashboard, all that stuff. There's a shit roll cage in there that has to come out. But if you can see here, see that crack right there? Watch when I stand on it. It's hard to film and jump at the same time, but you can see that's cracked all the way down, and it moves when I stand on it. But let's get this thing out of here and pull the hatch and start working. It's pretty windy out, and without the fenders on it, it's pretty sharp up front, but I got a strap around it. Strap front, strap back. We just don't want everything getting super wet. Do a burnout. Oh, jeez, don't wreck it. She empty. Look at that.